Welcome back, guys. Automotive Inc. As I told you, this information was just given to me by my inner circle from people at GM, and I guess I'm up in the air about it. I'm kind of pissed, but at the end of the day, this is probably going to blow GM wide open, especially with their recent problems with all their transmissions. Before we get started, please smash the subscribe button. Helps a small channel out. Thumbs up and notification bell. So without further ado, I was given this information via email. I think it was distributed between dealers, not necessarily for the general public. But as we said before, GM had their hands in Allison for a very long time. They sold it back in 2007. During that time, though, from 2007 on, so if you have an early Duramax with the Allison, you have a true Allison transmission built for GM. And as they progressed, then they sold in 2007 to a subsidiary, and that group then took everything, including the manufacturing plants and everything, out from underneath GM. So GM had no ties. However, Allison then continued to make transmissions for them, so up to the 6-speed transmission that eventually dropped off. Did have a partnership with GM and Allison. Now, let me tell you something about Allison. Okay, guys, I drive a bus that has almost 200,000 miles on it, Allison. The other day, my TCM went out. The transmission control module went out. It was revving high, revving hot. Temps were hot, but I had to get to a safe place where I could get pulled over for the passengers on board. And they came back. They changed out the TCM. My fluid looked like trash. It was burnt, smelled like burnt rubber. They didn't even change that. They changed the TCM, and all is good. So I've put about another 3,000 miles on there, and that Allison is still kicking. So what I mean by that is having the name Allison on your hood or on your window sticker or in generalities, it gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling, right? Just like if you hear Allison or if you hear, say, Torque Shift, and that's a brand that you love. Allison Transmissions is a world-known transmission manufacturer, and it makes you feel warm and fuzzy. Well, what if I told you guys that the 10L1000 may just have been a sham? A marketing ploy to get customers to feel that warm, fuzzy feeling, because when they can the 6-speed, which I think the 6-speed was just fine in the Duramax, and now having it backed behind the actual, gasser, I think that's fantastic. But what if it never was? I've had a lot of viewers come out when we talk about the actual value of the Allison, and is it an Allison, and all the transmission woes, valve body issues and stuff. And I'm telling you, what if it wasn't? With GM's problems with their 10s and their 8 speeds and their half tons and everything, would you have felt as confident buying your $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 pickup that slaps Allison on the hood, making you think that even if GM developed most of it, just knowing that Allison flipped through the final pages of the design, you'd feel just a little bit better, right? Well, there's been a lot of skeptics on the channel, or not on the channel, but commenters, I guess, that said they were at Allison. Allison, said they didn't have their hands in it. And then there's other people that say, no, GM built it with Allison and everything. Well, I think with the most recent news, I'm thinking probably more GM than anything of Allison, if not just the badge. So you might as well take your badge off the hood, guys, because this news is going to break your heart. And I'm going to tell you, the 10-speed I had in Optimus, my 25 Chevy Silverado, it was a good transmission. However, after the body shop fried the entire electrical system, it had a shudder in it. Now, widely known on the internet, there are tons of videos out there of people having a shudder, which eventually what led to the wheel lockup. I don't know if it's a GM thing, my transmission thing, or the body shop jacking up my electrical, and it's a PCM or a TCM or something like that that's having the problems. But knowing it's an Allison, you kind of have that, again, that warm, fuzzy feeling like, dude, that shit's in a tank, so can't be stopped, right? Well, this information that was fed to me through some friends, and I will actually show you this. This was meant to spend out to dealers, and I'm going to read it verbatim, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. It says, please read HD. Next line, truck Allison transmission update. This was dated October 14th. Chevrolet and GMC Dealers. General Motors license to use Allison transmission trademarks in connection with Chevy Silverado HD and GMC GMC Sierra HD 2500, 3500 trucks. The license agreement, parentheses, will expire at the end of the day on December 31st, 2025. So this Christmas, guys, no more Allison, no more GM trucks. They're not going to be connected. Whether they're connected in value or connected in licensing agreements to use their name to get you to spend your money on it, that's up to you. It says, upon expiration, all sub-licenses to authorized dealers also automatically terminate. Following the expiration of the license agreement, GM and its authorized dealers are permitted a single 180-day period from January 1, 26 through June 29, 26 to market, advertise, and sell the remaining inventory of products bearing the licenses of Allison marks, provided all such use remain compliant with the terms of the license agreement. Next line, what it means for you. So this, again, this is kind of an internal thing. It's going out to dealers. Beginning in early December, production Silverado and Sierra HD trucks will no longer be equipped with Allison-badged transmissions. As of this date, you must not create or publish new advertising and or marketing materials using Allison's trademark for newly produced Silverado and Sierra HD 25, 3500 units that do not carry Allison badging. You may, however, continue to market, advertise, and sell on-hand inventory that bears Allison trademarks through the 180-day sell-down window ending on June 29, 26. So I guess if you want to snag a sweet deal on one, you might be able to, because you can go to the dealership and say, it's not an Allison, bro. And if you don't sell it, they're going to make you take it off anyway. Says, then it continues, after that date, any and all use of Allison marks to promote and sell new Allison-badged inventory must cease. To that end, by June 29, 26, you must also pull down all digital and website references, remove point of sale materials, and discontinue the publishing of any advertised materials that use or reference Allison marks. Prior to June 29, 26, GM will initiate a field action to retrofit any remaining Allison-badged dealer inventory with a non-Allison badge. Again, this is required as GM dealers will not be permitted to advertise or sell new Allison-badged inventory after June 29, 2026. More details will be shared at a later date. The termination of the license agreement does not restrict your ability to market and sell used vehicles bearing Allison badges. And please contact your district manager with any questions. And it goes a little bit further, saying additional updates, documents will be shared on the following brand HQ sites with Global Connect, which is GM's platform as a dealer salesperson, as I was. Global Connect was part of that, where you get in there and kind of get the nitty gritty and how you train and everything like that. Says those documents will be specific to Chevrolet HD truck Allison transmission updates, Buick GMC HD truck Allison updates. So now, before we get too much further, let me show you the shit I just read you. Okay, so here is this. So you can pause it all you want and check it out. So for me, guys, if GM makes an excellent transmission and calls it the Dirty 10 or the D-Max 10 or the Max 10 or the Mac 10, or I don't care how the chicken sandwich is made as long as it's delicious. Well, the 10 L1000 has had some problems, enough so I think they recalled almost 500,000 to check and see if this valve body issue is out there. If you guys snag one of these and you're driving it and it's an older one, I think they brought it out in 20 for the Duramax and 24 for the gas. Anyhow, then get with a company like Next Gen or anybody else, doesn't matter, anybody that has a good reputation, good reviews and stuff like that, and get that thing secured once it's out of warranty. Now, this pisses me off because I'd like I said, as long as the sandwich is delicious, I don't care how it's made. And they've been slapping this name on this transmission for a long time, and they've been really good. My LML was good. My LMM was good. My dad's LML is good. And to have a shutter at 5,000 on mine, it makes me wonder, did Allison basically say, hey, we don't want your name on our crappy product? Was it GM's like, I'm not going to pay anymore because we make good enough stuff? I'm not for sure, but there's enough information out there saying that there's an issue that GM needs to rectify, and they're slapping a Band-Aid on it. But I don't know. It's like when GM left Isuzu in the dust and brought in the Duramax and kept improving it. I think the Duramax is improving. I think it's really good. But that wasn't their idea, right? They worked with Isuzu. Isuzu makes a bulletproof little diesel. They made a good one for GM, and it keeps evolving, keeps getting better. Well, you would think if GM's been working with Allison for all these freaking years, they would be able to go in there, peel that Allison apart and be like, okay, we need to do it just like this. We'll tweak it here so we don't get a patent or trademark infringement. But have they been just paying for the name to sell trucks? While Torque Shift ran off with Ford, and then Ram had their 68 RFE, and they had the Allison, and they finally said, hey, we're going to go to ZF and have them build a transmission. Is the new ZF a true ZF? Or is it some bastard invention from Ram and ZF? We'll have to find that out. But to find out that basically Allison's saying, nah, we're done. You're done. As a matter of fact, if you don't sell your stuff, you have to rebadge it. It's disheartening. And for GM to lose that, I mean, I know they sold the company, and I get that. But why wouldn't you just go out and grab Allison and say, make me a transmission? We'll step up, we'll pay. You just do it. Because that has been, I think, a saving grace looking at GM trucks for better half of 20-some years. So this information, like I said, it pisses me off. I don't really care. If GM's 10-speed is excellent and it's great, then I don't care if it's called an Allison or whatever. I don't care if they venture out on their own or reinvent their own wheel. But to find out that current inventory will be rebadged, not Allison, which means reprint of the Maroni stickers or window stickers, if they don't sell, was it ever an Allison? Was all the hype true? That's disappointing. And everybody that has a current Allison, man, I'd be pissed. I don't know. I don't have any data from anybody. From all of my GM people that I've talked to, all the people that are up and ups, they said it was a joint effort. But I would love somebody that worked at Allison to come out on the channel and just say, nah, bro, it never was. So, disappointed or not, hopefully your guys' GM Allison transmission lasts you forever. I hope it does. But this is going to hurt GM 100%. Guarantee it. They've had too many transmission problems over the last few years that they should have emptied their pockets to at least keep the name. Because they don't have even a good name thought up. So, as always, guys, appreciate you guys being here. Catch you on the next one.